We do, we just douse those out to the universe. And those cattle eat that food with absolutely no ill effects at all.
Well, what about indoor air? Now, I've been researching and found online there's actually a service where you can have a little test tube of stuff to test for mold in your apartment.
Right.
And then if you want to pay an extra $35, they'll actually break it down into what kind of mold is it.
Right.
I don't think they have as much as you have as to what to do about it, though.
Yeah. No, it's we're running into the same thing in these greenhouses with the poor air movement. It's too humid and not enough air movement, so we're getting white molds and downy mildew and rust. They're all funguses. And again, we've had to come up with a total different way of treating this stuff. And it's simple. It's in everybody's house. It's sodium bicarb. And we spray the flowers with sodium bicarb water, and all those molds go away. And now we're spraying the soil to get those molds and funguses out of the soil.
Will vinegar do the same thing?
No, vinegar we use for killing weeds. We use vinegar and salt, and we spray that on. Vinegar is too acidic. We want to be more... The trouble with the human race is we're too acidic. We need to balance our alkalinity, and of course sodium bicarb can take you over the top on alkalinity. So
you can't just rest on your laurels and think that you can fix everything just with your mind. You just
no,
have to do
no. You have to.
Things.
You have to. That's why I'm saying you need functional foods in your body to. You know, it's the way we were brought up, and we need those. Food is not only calories and that kind. You've got to have the all of the cell salts in different. There's so many cell salts that you need in your body. One salt, white table salt, is not what you want. You need this sea salt, and again, our bodies are not requiring far less salt now than we ever did. Really, we shouldn't be adding any salt because there's so much in the food we buy. It doesn't matter whether you buy McCain French fries; they got salt on them, and anything prepared in a factory is laced with salt. And there's so many. I use. I don't want to get colon cancer to start with. So I drink 8 ounces of tomato juice a day. Now, I'm using the V8 because it's only 6% sodium. And this is what you have to watch when you're buying any of this stuff. Normal tomato juice is usually 20–24% sodium. So, you've got to start looking at the labels. But food is a means of healing your body. And you need a variety. I know that I had high cholesterol, so I go through a simple regime now. I cut up an apple and I have some grapes or something with it and yogurt, and then I take some oatmeal and cook the oatmeal. Now the oatmeal is a wonderful thing because it lowers the cholesterol in your body, and it sustains you for a long time. It's very high in energy, and at the same time I put some cocoa on it because it's very high in antioxidants.
Can I ask for clarification? When you said you're sending things back to the fiery universe,
yeah.
You have to specify?
You
can't just like blanket say, remove any toxins from my body?
You have to be anything that has a life. It could be a bacteria. Let me think. Anything. Like I do a lot of stuff with a lot of people. They have ghosts following them around, and they draw all the energy out. So what I don't just send the ghost to be destroyed. How I do, I bring the ghost in, ask it if it needs to be healed, and 90% of the time they need some healing and I do that. Then I ask them where they want to go. They either want to go to God or they want to go to home in another universe, or some, if they're native, want to go to happy hunting ground. And so everything in that way I treat with absolute respect. We do the same thing on farms for controlling weeds. We'll just go onto a farm and I'll hold a weed in one hand. It could be ragweed or pigweed or whatever. And I ask that its life force, its spirit, goes back home. It's not the same as hitting it with a chemical and, you know, you create a problem. So this way, we take the life force out of the weed and it doesn't grow anymore. It dies off. And it's so simple. And this is why I'm saying right now, as humans, we're coming into this time where we're at almost unlimited potential. But at the same time, we're being bombarded with all these chemicals, and they could be food preservatives, all kinds of stuff. Just is not what our body needs. So that's what I'm doing, and I think everybody can do that. And so Steve has got his plates here, which play an integral part in what we're talking about, is to try to balance and connect all the meridians and everything, you know, in your body.
When you mentioned this, how people from the towns now, how the towns, how they protect themselves, how frequencies, you know, office buildings.
Yeah, well, yeah, Steve is asking the question about how do people protect themselves. And, you know, you can, we have the balancer system in the homes, and we have the plates. We also have little balancers you put in your car. There's also, how often do you go somewhere and there's somebody there that's really negative, you know? So what I do, after I've been exposed to that, I just walk off to the side and I'll just pull all that stuff down, and then I send it up the planet and clean myself.
You mean without the gold thing? Just with yourself, with your mind?
Yourself, yeah. You've got to clear, and you know, you've got to understand that emotions, and it could be from previous people living in the home. It could be alcoholism, schizophrenia, any of that kind of thing, actually gets into the wall boards, and it actually affects the people going into that home. And this is part of the work I do, is clearing homes. I go through, and are there any ghosts or spirits? Are there any emotions, which could be one of many, a smoker? You can have a heavy smoker, and you just take that out.
But if you're in a high rise and it's full of a lot of everything.
Yeah, you do your space.
And then there must be a certain way that you need to learn to word it so you're comprehensive in not being affected by everybody else in all
Right.
those other spaces.
Actually, what I
Through
was,
the walls.
yeah, you know, you can create your space, and
And put a hedge around it.
yeah, put a hedge
Yeah.
around it. Like we did the same thing on our property. We don't want other people's garbage coming in, so we built a wall around our property and we put a roof on it.
Well, that's
It keeps it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.